Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Trading Table. This is Andrew. Joined with me is Landon, and today we're going to be going over some of the biggest movers in the market, what to watch, and more. Today was a relatively slow day, not a lot going on. We saw a lot of chop in the market, as we can see here, relatively neutral in the heat map. If we take away, just our regular companies, negative 1%, 1% or 0%, right? There's not a lot of companies here that were pretty extreme today in volatility. Nvidia did finish up 3%, Avgo with a 12.27% day, CRM down 2.87%. But that's about it, to be honest. You have Tesla over here. Tesla's a bit interesting. We'll look at Tesla today, just out of interest. But looking at SPY here, we can see why there was so much chop, right? Although this may look pretty volatile, right? If we really think about it, from its low right here intraday to its peak end of day, it really only moved like 0.65%. So not a lot for SPY. And look how long it took to get there. From 12:30 to 3 o'clock, it only moved like 0.65%. And just jumping from the SPY right here to the VIX real quick, right? So the volatility index, or the VIX, tracks the S&P 500's volatility. As we can see, it's at 11.95 right now and had a peak of 12.69. If we jump out to a month real quick, we could see that the VIX was relatively high not too long ago on the 31st of May. And if we look at SPY on the 31st of May real quick, if this will load, because my internet is terrible. There we go. Perfect timing. If we look at SPY on the 31st of May, we could see, look at that, right? This was an insane day. We dropped all the way from 524 to 518, right? And that's over like what? Let's see, a 1.23% move in 3 hours, and then we completely recovered all the way back up to the level of 527 before close. So that's pretty, that's more volatile. Today was literally it was so boring today. Literally nothing happening. And even yesterday, really not a whole lot either. But nevertheless, there were still some movers today, like Nvidia, for example. If we jump over to the watch list here and hop over to Nvidia, we can see that when it loads, Nvidia has been on quite a run today. So Nvidia did a 10-to-1 split, meaning you get 10 shares of Nvidia, and for just one. So that means that the price was divided by 10. So right now, just to put it into perspective, we'd be almost pushing like $1,300 on Nvidia right now pre-split. So Nvidia is really doing insanely well right now. And for those of you that are shareholders of Nvidia, I bet your long terms are looking very, very nice, or even short terms or whatever are looking beautiful right now. I told you guys you should definitely pick up some shares for Nvidia pre-split. And this is why, because you're just going to see so many more buyers flowing in, because brokerages like Schwab don't allow you to buy decimals of stocks unless it's in something called like stock slices, or like it's like a certain whatever. But it gets very, very technical and very annoying, to be honest, instead of just going to a stock, hitting like one and then clicking buy. But nevertheless, still shooting up. A lot more people buying now, because one share of Nvidia is a lot more feasible now than when it was $1,100 per share for most investors. And options premiums are way cheaper now, because 1% at like $1,200 and a 1% gain at $120 is two very different things. So that definitely affected the options premium pricing. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track here. Nvidia is doing very, very well. I still have it to the upside. With SPY at all-time highs, I feel like a pullback is definitely imminent. I can't really say when, but I'd say we're not gonna go too much higher. Like, we might just stay around this level and have some trouble with this level before we pull back. And honestly, like I said in the last video, I'm not opposed to a pullback because pullbacks just allow us to reach even higher highs later. And they gave great opportunities for, buy-ins and big money and whatnot. But just, Apple here as well has just been firing recently. Yesterday, they were really, really firing. Today, just chop, just like everything else. I'm telling you guys, today was so boring. Just going through our big money, right? K-Web still have it to the upside. Our PDD play is actually banging right now. We're at 151, and we called this bad boy all the way back at like 145, I believe. Just around here. Yeah, this level, we called it on this day. Literally doesn't even matter when we called it on this day, right? But yeah, no, we called it early in the morning. We're sitting pretty at 151 right now. And I checked, and there's big money in PDD from like a while ago, and they're still in. And then another buyer came in and added more to that contract. Maybe it was the same buyer or hedge fund or whatever, but they actually added more to the contract that we called out in our Discord. So, shout out to the sniper bot from our Discord for calling this out. It's a crazy play. But nevertheless, definitely scale out. Don't sit here and hold. Scaling out's always a good option, right? I'm sure we'll pull back before we reach, 160 or get in the money of these contracts because they are around. I think the strike is 160 on one of them. We have a strike from 165 and a strike of 155 from like a long, long time ago. But just scale out. Be careful, right? Because as you can see here, the last time before we reached like 164, which was a recent high for PDD. It's not all time, but earnings kind of had to play a part in that, and those are in 70 days. These contracts do, I don't believe, at least not the July 19th one, obviously, which is the one that the sniper bot called, doesn't follow through earnings, which is good. Because I wouldn't really want to hold through earnings if I don't have that much time. But yeah, earnings definitely played a part. But, just watch out for like a pullback here. And if it does pull back, it's like a golden opportunity for a buy-in, right? There is literally like probably, I think, over $8 million in PDD right now. And if you guys don't know what PDD is, PDD basically just owns Temu and like a few other Chinese companies. But yeah, PDD, I have to the extreme upside. I'm very, very confident that this stock will just keep firing. So I'm honestly, I did sell a little bit early with the PDD call. I'm not going to lie. I did stick to my plan, but that was before I noticed that there was two big money kind of hedge funds or investors, whoever they are, just throwing millions and millions and millions of dollars into this. So I'm definitely looking to re-enter now. I know Landon's been holding this. Landon likes to play it a little bit more risky. So shout out to Landon because he's up like crazy right now with this, and it's only going to keep on climbing. But yeah, just look for like a minor pullback for entry. We could maybe see like 146. I'm honestly looking for 150. I'm not going to get too greedy here with entry. So if it hits 150, I'm in. There's also a major support at 150 for this. So likely if the momentum isn't very strong downward, it hits 150, all those buy orders fill, boom, we shoot back up, right? And AAL, unfortunately, I do believe that the big money either have their position or completely cut this. So just watch out for AAL here. It could still go down, but maybe today would have been a good day to sell, right? AAL, I still have it to the downside just because like this company, I actually hate this company. And not only because of my hatred for it, but it's just they're just such a like unorganized company, and there's so much wrong with them. So I still have it to the downside. These contracts still have time to them, and I do believe they only have their position. I'll know more tomorrow at market open. I can see a lot more to see what they did today. So if we see evidence that they're out, we'll notify our members in our free Discord. So be sure to join that. They'll get the news first before the video even comes out. But yeah. Lastly, let's take a look at Tesla real quick before we jump into the big money plays for today that Landon will be going over. So Tesla kind of, hit this 181.70 support today. It was kind of, trying to like come around that level. never really had like complete success. End of day, it did touch it, and it's up right now in the pre or aftermarket. But I mean, Tesla just really weird day. Um, I don't really know what's going on with Tesla, to be honest, man. Elon Musk is getting some pay package, and there's a lot of bullish news. But this was a pretty major sell off here at like 10, and that's why there's a lot of options volume in Tesla, because they have moves like this, and you guys can trade that. You know what I mean? So it's great for options traders if you know Tesla. But I really don't like it just because of how much volatility there is, right? Like we saw, like let's just look real quick with this tool. If we go down here to this low, all the way to this high, right? We saw 2% in like 30 minutes or less, and then we saw a decrease of 4% in what is that? Less than 30 minutes, right? So a lot of volatility there with Tesla. But jump into Landon now for some of our big money plays for today.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. So for our first big money play today, it's actually for the VIX. And just to reiterate the play for you guys, the call out from the bot was it's a call option contract at a strike of 16 with an expiration of 7/17/2024 and a total premium count of 813K and a total volume of 11.46K. This is the second call out from the bot. I think bringing in the total premium count to like 1.4 million. So big money is definitely saying the VIX is about to shoot up. Because today we actually had a pretty decent drop. But other than that, yeah, definitely. I guess if big money says upwards, you gotta follow the money at the end of the day. But that's just, I'm kidding, guys. Definitely be smart with entry and stuff. But at the end of the day, follow the money. But moving on from there, for our next big money play, we have AGQ, right? And just to reiterate the play, it is also a call option contract at a strike of 44 with an expiration of 9/20/2024 and a total premium count of 551K and a total volume of 1.85K. For this one today, we didn't have that crazy of an upward move, but it finished a little lower than it opened today. But you got to look at it from different points of view. With this drop, just gives us better entry. We still have time on that for the expiration on this contract, as it expires in 9/20/2024, so September 20th. So yeah, 551K premium count is not super high, so definitely be a little hesitant. Definitely look for good entry. But moving on from there, for our last one, we have GDX. And just to reiterate the play for this one, it is a put option contract at a strike of 32 with an expiration of 7/19/2024 and a total premium count of 791K and a total volume of 12K. Now, the last time the bot called puts for gold, gold absolutely shot down. Let's see. Right here, the bot had called puts around here on the 6th, and the play was absolutely amazing. People that got in there had crazy profits, and gold's just been on a downtrend recently because the dollar's strengthening. But yeah, big money saying gold's about to shoot down again. There's definitely something to look at there. Actually had a pretty good move down today, now that I'm looking at it. Kind of chopped out towards the end of the day, but to start the day, we saw a pretty good move down. But moving on from gold, we have Tesla, and so me and Andrew are actually not filming together right now because he's on vacation after a few big wins from our bot. So right now we're actually filming in 2 different locations and 2 different time zones. So that's why we might have 2 different points of views on Tesla and other blue chip stocks, because we're not able to elaborate as much because we're in two different parts of the world right now. But for Tesla, just to give my take on Tesla. So to start the day in pre-market, we saw Tesla shoot up just because big money investors kind of realized that Elon Musk was indeed gonna get his $56 billion pay package from the voters. So that's why we saw that jump in Tesla's price. Because not Tesla, but once Elon Musk gets his money, everyone's kind of counting on the fact that he'll be happy and kind of let Tesla grow and not intervene with the stock's price too much. But that's what we saw pre-market, and then for actual trading hours, we saw it kind of dip back down because that excitement kind of went away, and people kind of laid off the gas pedal, if you will. But moving on from Tesla, we actually have Apple, and as you guys know, I'm big Apple fans. But today for Apple, we saw it chop out. Just give it a second. There we go. For today, we saw Apple chop out, and this isn't as concerning because of the movement we've had the last 2 days. So seeing a chop out here is actually pretty good. I actually would like to see Apple drop down a little bit more before we see it continue to rise up the next few months. But I'm definitely bullish for the long run for Apple. But moving on from Apple, we have Microsoft. And this is another big tech company, as you guys know. Apple actually just surpassed them in market cap, making it the biggest company. But we saw Microsoft chop out as well, which is to be expected. The entire market chopped out just because wasn't really anything crazy yesterday from all the economic events that happened. So the market's kind of just kind of taking a break. There's just I don't know. I guess the best way to explain it is kind of a cool off because we had such a big move the last few days that investors are kind of taking a break. But moving on from Microsoft, we actually have Nvidia, and Nvidia actually had quite a day, hit all-time highs, and this is because after Apple's news. After the news that Apple released at the WWDC 2024 event, Nvidia is gonna skyrocket because they're the ones that actually supply the chips for the artificial intelligence that Apple and Microsoft will be using. And the more and more we see news of big companies kind of moving towards AI, the more and more Nvidia is gonna continue to move up. But it's kind of hard to jump into Nvidia because it's so high right now that it's like, in the back of your head, everyone's thinking, oh, it could, do the complete 360 and just move down because it's so high. So that's why it's a little hard to invest in Nvidia. But other than that, that's the end of my analysis. Back to you, Andrew.
Looking at our earnings calendar for the rest of the week, right? We've got Adobe after close today. It looks like they already did a report. Yep, they already did a report. And they're currently up 14% right now. So Adobe, banging right now. Great price action at Adobe. With these stocks that kind of report earnings after close, before open, generally before open is better if you want to trade it. But, I'll have Adobe on my watch list tomorrow, just kind of watching it, see if there's any opportunities for any day trades with Adobe. Because, when it rises up this much, sometimes it doesn't hold that level very well, and it'll come back down in pre-market. It'll just bring a lot of volatility for Adobe. So I'll be happy to trade that if I see a nice setup. But we do have PPI month on month that came out today. PPI came in way low, and the market loved it. That's how we got to this kind of 542 level with SPY. That's kind of how we're sticking there. So we had CPI come in. Market loved it. PPI came in, market loved it, and that's why I think we're kind of due for a pullback as well. After close for tomorrow, we have some random company. Never heard of these guys. Penny stock. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll go up 150%. We can trade it or something. If you are going to gamble earnings, I'd gamble on this one. This is pretty funny. if you just pick up like a share and just see where it goes. I mean, it's $1.17. But don't go too crazy on it, right? But we do have a company IPOing tomorrow, Tempest AI. This is actually kind of going to be interesting. When companies IPO, which is like when they get put on the market, normally they're really, really volatile. So I don't know. Maybe I'll remember to watch Tempest AI. But that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the trading table. This has been Andrew and Landon. Be sure to join our free Discord. Link is in the description. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at market close.